Today we're in the great state of Texas and we're going to be doing the Granbury Fire Department. In a time when fire departments across the country are shrinking, Granbury is growing. What you see here just isn't a station walkthrough, it's an inside story of a department that's done what many said couldn't be done. So we're going to be meeting up with the chief today. He's going to walk us through this firehouse and describe what's going on here. Mike from Heroes Next Door.
Nice to meet you.
Before we get started, tell our audience who you are, how you got started, a little background on you.
Matt Hohon. I'm originally from Colorado. I moved to Texas in 2010 from Mexico. That's a long story. And I got into the fire service at that time. I'd always kind of wanted to get into it, but I had the opportunity to bounce into it. So I joined Granbury in 2010 and I was elected chief in 2020. And here we are today in June of 2025, and we've got a new and revitalized organization, and we look forward to sharing it with everyone.
In just 5 years, the Granbury Volunteer Fire Department has gone from 30 active members to over 110. Thank you for inviting us down to Texas.
Well, we really appreciate you coming down, and we really look forward to explaining the department and who we are and what we do and how we do it.
Can we take a look inside the house?
Yeah, come on in.
All right.
So we'll come on in here to our main meeting room here.
Okay.
Now we have 3 stations.
Okay.
This is station 1, and it is on the west side of town. We have station 2, which is centrally located, and then station 3 is on the far east side of town.
Okay.
Now station 1 is, we're gonna call it our older station. Granbury's actually, the fire department started in 1907.
Oh, wow, okay.
So there's actually been multiple reiterations of locations of where this station's located.
Okay.
This station was built originally in 1980. The steel went up in 83. The actual bays were completed in 86. And then we have a whole reiterations of just add-ons upon add-ons with more add-ons stacked. So what you see here was probably originally completed, if I remember correctly, I think in 1993.
Okay, okay.
And that's when they really expanded the meeting room here and then added the offices, updated the bathrooms, and then added our backside storage area.
Okay.
So, and then above us, what used to be a rec room, and we'll go see it here in a little bit, we've got a big training room here.
From the moment you walk through the door, it is clear this department is built around its members. Okay, so this is pretty much where everybody comes in that are volunteer, they want to hang out. We would call it a crew room where I'm coming from. But you have a lot of stuff on the walls. Can you kind of talk to me how this is all kind of set up?
Sure. So as we go around the room, our radios are laid here. One, because it's so hot in the bays, we don't want to burn up the radio equipment, and we don't keep the ACs running on the trucks. So any expensive technology that'd be typically on the truck, we're going to keep inside.
Okay.
So that's why the radios are all stashed here. And then we just have some over history, just fire department pictures. Our hallowed coat rack. No one knows where it came from, but it shall not be removed.
All right.
And this is decreed upon everyone. And then just a typical meeting table. Everyone sits here. Our younger students, they'll come up here, they'll study. High school students come up here and do their work, college study. And then realistically, coffee, breakfast, dinner table. Everyone's just...
We always talk about fire tables being the hub of every fire station. So having a good table to sit down and talk to and solve the world problems, this is where it all gets done.
It's just critical because it's just a central point. At the end of the day, firefighters are about the community and the essence of the community meeting point. It's a cultural icon for a fire department.
Right. They've created an environment where new recruits feel welcome, where mentorship is expected, and training just isn't an event, it's a mindset. Looks like you got a bunch of awards up on the wall too?
Yep, up here on the wall, we started just kind of keeping track of different, we'll call it like just monument keepers.
Yeah.
High events, call volume, participation.
Okay.
Firefighter of the year, rookie of the year. The oldest plaque up here goes back to I think it says 73 up there. We've got 84 here, and then going all the way through current, in this case, 2024.
Yeah, that's a good way to recognize the volunteers that come out and do the job that get it done. So.
Well, at the end of the day, we kind of use it in this point too. I use this a lot when I'm talking to particularly my kids. And understand when I say my kids, I'm always just talking about our newest members.
Okay.
But when you're new, you're highly active here, you do a lot and you don't necessarily see someone for a while, okay? And you're like, well, you know, they don't do. And it's like, look, they're up here 9 times in a row.
Yeah.
It's okay to sit there and acknowledge that maybe they can actually still participate with the organization and not live here at the station. That's okay. We can manage that.
Yeah.
Then the other part of it it's an incentivization part to keep people motivated. You know, Rookie of the Year is a one-time thing. Firefighter of the Year, yeah, you can get stacked up on that a couple of times, but realistically, it's just something to help keep people motivated and interested in the organization.
Right. I love the diamond plate that you have around. I think it's the first time I've ever seen diamond plate in a crew room.
So it's actually kind of a funny story. So the room itself used to be pretty drab. There was a fantastic 1970s mural of trees that don't exist in Texas. There was old, like really crusty wooden kitchen cabinets, a fridge that was probably before fridges ever existed. And we really wanted to update the room. But the problem is one, time, two, it is a city property. The city owns the building.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, we kind of realized, like, you be careful pulling away on anything because the building's old enough that there may be something that you don't want to pull out, like an asbestos test.
Yeah.
Which did happen, and it came back hot. And it's like, well, now we got to do asbestos abatement. So we had this opportunity to redo this room. A huge part of this is either donated or came in as just a really good buys. I mean, I don't think all the diamond plate that you'll see, and these are diamond plate sheets,
right.
All this diamond plate, I don't even know if it cost $1,000.
Okay.
The membership did the work, and kind of the basic theme here was we have white trucks, we have red trim, we have diamond plate, and then the black floor.
Right.
So it's just something to kind of look like our trucks.
Yeah, and you got a little setup here for all the recliners that we've got to have every firehouse.
Right. So 90% of the time, if the crews aren't at the table, they're coming over here to the recliners, crashing, joking, watching TV, watching movies. That's something that we do invest quite a bit of time, energy, and effort in on the entertainment side, anything to draw people to the organization, to just have the convenience of sitting here. I'm actually surprised that we still stumble into organizations that don't do that. I really recommend that. A simple old Xbox or a PlayStation can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
It really can.
So over here, it looks like you got a little kitchenette.
Yeah, no, the kitchen's always kind of just lack of better words, a dumpster fire. There's so many people in and out. Everyone's going to cook their own way. They're going to have their own preferences. They're going to do just kind of whatever for their group. Stuff flows in and out of that. I know my guys get furious that there's no cabinets, and I just tell them, what you see here laying out would be 1,000 times worse in a cabinet door that never gets open.
Right.
Because everyone's just going to keep buying and buying and buying. And we're going to keep it like this because at least this way it's so much easier to clean out. And when it stacks to the ceiling, we can just haul it out to the dumpster and get rid of it.
Right. As we make our way through the house, I noticed that you don't actually have bunk rooms here.
No. Part of that is due to the fact of just the age of the station, but part of that also has to do with just the history of the organization.
Okay.
We have long time been able to sustain a classic volunteer response.
Okay, so I would be at home, you know, I'm doing my normal stuff or at work, I get the pager on a fire, and then I get in my car. Do you allow kind of blue or yellow lights or red lights to come to the station to get the trucks out?
Yeah, so we do have a POV response.
Okay.
Personally owned vehicles. And we want them to come to the station, not to the scenes, an important distinction.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
The stations have the tools, the equipment, the personnel, your PPE, everything you need's at the station. It's not at the scene. And it's not going to be someone else's responsibility to make sure they have your stuff. Come to the station, and here's the other part of it. We're busy enough that even if you don't make the first truck out, you're going to catch the second truck out. And even if you don't catch the second truck out, just stay at the station because we're going to have another call, and you'll be able to catch that second call that hits, third call that hits. And we've been able to somehow or another be able to have that sort of rhythm going. And it's been like that since I've joined in 2010.
Wow.
We've always had a good, strong, solid response just off of classic pager response.
Okay. Through this tour, you'll hear the leadership talk about things like accountability, adaptability, and trust. It's not just talk, it's how they run this department. So what do we have in this room here?
So this room is our officer's room, okay? It's gonna store our station radios, printers, medical supplies, personnel files, and just kind of general catch-all for anything that we need to keep secure,
Okay.
okay? Report writing can be done here. The vast majority of it's done just out here in the regular
Okay.
paper.
But this is secure, so no one
Yes.
can, it's for the officers. Okay, makes sense. And then down the hallway, I noticed you got a nice good patch wall.
Yes, so coming down the hallway, we have a really good patch wall. There's multiple states here. We do have a pretty good patch exchange policy,
Okay.
but we prefer to do it in person.
Granbury isn't isolated. They work hand in hand with the neighboring departments, understanding that mutual aid is more than just a checkbox. It's a relationship.
This next room is where our lone city employee works.
Okay.
This is her office, and she's our office manager. Granbury's busy enough that, quite frankly, I need help with the paperwork. Our office manager, Amy, is a godsend, and truthfully, anything we can do can't be done without her. She handles a lot of the text-fers, in-fers reporting, ordering, and then just general phone answering, and then just handling a huge amount of the purchasing that comes in. And then at the end of the day, also just gets to kind of play whack-a-mole with just the general membership,
Okay.
getting personnel data entered, and just keeping up with individuals.
Okay. But she's actually a township employee.
Yes.
Not an employee of the firehouse.
Correct. She does work for the city.
Okay. It's a good way to do that. It's that collaboration between your administration and the city that you serve is a good way to keep those lines of communication open too.
Yeah. And she also, Amy helps a lot with some of the other kind of periphery stuff from the organization of the department. She goes to our business meetings. She helps the onboarding process of our new members. When I have meetings with the city, she attends. She helps with the budget process. We sit down together and we will literally write a plan together. Even though I might be responsible for the budget, the fact of the matter is that she knows how the money comes in and out of the organization.
Yeah.
That's an important part that you don't want to cut out of the discussion. She's going to have a lot of insight. It's just, it helps with the flow and the communication with the city. Well, there's a lot of times when I've got a full-time job, I can't be here. I'll call Amy and ask her, like, hey, where's the city at on getting this truck oil change done? Or where are we at on getting this ordered? Or has this come in? She really helps with that a lot.
That's good to have. So we
So-
appreciate her. I don't know if she's in the office.
No,
She
she's
is?
being a turkey today. She's still on vacation.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that, but I appreciate her. They know their community, they know their stakeholders, and they manage their resources with discipline and clarity, which means taxpayer dollars are spent wisely and support for the department stays strong. And then where do we go from here?
So from here, we've got 3 ways to go.
Okay.
We'll go back here first into our back storage cage, but this door goes out to the bays.
Okay.
And if we go up and left to the stairs, we'll actually go into our training.
All right, I'll follow you.
So here's our back storage cage.
Okay.
Okay, now it's kind of cramped back here, but you can see we've got air packs hanging up here. We've got a whole bunch of cleaning supplies eventually here on the right. Do have a gun safe back here. No, there is not guns in there, even though we're in Texas. This is where we keep a lot of our historical documents.
Nice. Okay.
So old meeting minutes, a lot of traditional stuff's locked in there, a lot of history. Our organization, comparatively to from like where you're from on the East Coast, where you guys on the USA level are old, Texas, this is an old VFD in this state. I mean, 1907 is when we started. And I managed to find, by pure chance, our old meeting minutes. The furthest back that I found was 1909.
Okay.
One, apparently I have lost the ability to read like artistic calligraphy.
Cursive.
It is deep, deep cursive.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was actually incredible reading through the meeting minutes. and stumbling into things like people leaving for World War I, the guys that came back from World War I, World War II, the same thing, they return, and then as you keep going, you stumble into that, you're wondering what other wars are there. And we do. We have people that left for Korea and Vietnam and the Gulf War, and I mean, it's not fire department history as much as it's just the membership history. And it's just a really unusual written part of the organization, and it's not known.
Right.
It's just kind of tucked away. There's only a handful of us that even know about it. But the organization started with these people, and it's weird in the parallels that you see in those old meeting minutes of finding like the things they're arguing about in there.
Yeah.
And you're like, we still argue over this today.
Yeah.
This is absurd.
Right.
So I've always kind of appreciated stumbling into the old meeting minutes.
Yeah. One of the things that I learned coming into here is Granbury, I think their motto is living history.
Right.
So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a little commercial, show you a little bit about what Granbury is all about. Welcome to Granbury, where Texas history lives. Whether you're taking a much-needed break or discovering some new place, this town invites you to slow down. Catch a live performance at the Granbury Opera House, where culture and community take center stage. Lake Granbury offers the peace we all need on the water or right beside it. This town respects its first responders because here, service is part of the story. Fuel up with some Texas favorites, served with hospitality that feels like home. Whether you are splashing in the waves, building a sandcastle, or sharing a lunch under the sun, the beach brings family together for unforgettable moments. Granbury isn't just a destination, it's a pause, a breath, a reminder of what matters. Heroes Next Door is proud to highlight the places that care for those who serve. Visit Granbury today.
Be careful coming up the stairs.
All right.
It's kind of like a expedition to Everest.
I've been there.
All right, and as we come upstairs, we get into the, I would argue, the single most important room for Granbury.
Okay. Why is that?
So, training. When I say that it's an integral part of our organization, nothing else matters. Training's that important. Your history, your tradition, your people, you don't have that without training.
When change came for the fire service, Granbury just didn't dig in. They leaned forward. From tools and tactics to teaching and training, they've embraced a future-focused approach. So this is a huge training room. About how many occupants do you actually have that can come up here?
Well, we're really limited by the one pole that holds this entire floor up. So really we'll stuff at the maximum 40 people up here.
Okay.
We don't like to do that. We usually try and keep it about 25 to 30.
Right.
As it being a central training point for us, and us always trying to figure out ways to bridge the classic generational gap. One thing that I did when we put this together was just make sure we put some of the old kind of like parts of the department up here.
Sure.
And have the membership be able to see it. So
Okay.
kind of over here on this wall, Granbury's fire department used to be two different entities.
Okay.
It used to be a rescue unit and then the fire department. Okay. Of course, they always hated each other. But the city forced them to merge because they were funding two different entities, and the city in 1996 kind of said, this is enough. We see you as the same. You guys need to come together.
Okay.
And what these are is this is the old rescue unit uniforms.
Okay.
And as we go through the room, I mean, it's just a classic training room. You've got your TVs, speakers, projectors, tables, chairs.
Yep.
But on the walls, we've got a truck of picture of our current flagship, which is Tower 1.
Okay.
And then coming down next to Tower 1 is the oldest known photo of the organization. And this is a fire truck in 1917.
Okay.
Kind of a unique story at how we even got the photo. There was the lady who had retired long ago in Oklahoma, and she'd heard that Granbury was having its centennial celebration, and she knew that her father was on the fire department and had sent this photo to us with this handwritten note. And that photo predates anything else that we had by 20 years. So we do. We have this huge gap between 1907 and about the 1940.
Okay.
So that's the original fire truck here. No clue where it's
Yeah,
at.
that was going to be my next one. Have you located it?
Yeah,
Have you been able to find it?
We would love to find it, but it's gone.
Okay. So if any viewers are out there and you guys are fire truck buffs and know where that truck is, send them a line. Let them know that, hey, we may have your truck here. It'd be really cool to see that come back to them and maybe get it restored. If it needs to be. Who knows?
Yeah, if it doesn't, definitely let us know. Coming across just a small photo of our rescue unit. Okay. I think that's circa 1970s.
Okay.
And then same thing, just coming across the wall. More fires and news articles, just pictures of guys on scenes, and just, you know, trying a little bit just to make people aware, the newest people coming into the organization, that there is an established history, there is tradition, there's knowledge, there's experience all around you.
Right.
And understand that it is an opportunity for you just like it was them.
That's cool. Very cool to see. Thank you for bringing us up here. Let's go down to the apparatus bay and take a look at some of your trucks. What Granbury showed us was that great departments aren't built on big fires. They're built on quiet consistency, strong leadership, and a day-to-day commitment.
Coming out into our bays, again, this is Station 1, one of 3 stations. And this would be kind of like our big, we'll call it central station, even though it's not central.
Okay. Nice truck here. What do you got here?
So we have here is a 1954 Chevy. Okay. This truck came into service and stayed in service all the way to the 80s.
Wow. Okay.
It was 1981 is when it was retired.
Okay. Beautiful truck.
Very classic older truck. At the time, it carried 500 gallons of water. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know the pump capacity on this one.
Okay.
Okay. The only thing that's not complete to this truck, and it is kind of frustrating, and I don't know why they did this, when they retired it, they truly retired it. They drilled the pump.
Oh.
I don't.
Yeah, you think
I don't
you would
know
keep
why
it for
they did that.
Parade ready and usable, but yeah, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you guys are keeping it really well.
We use it for parades, and we also use it as a hearse.
Oh, yeah.
So we do use it for services when our firefighters' families ask for it to be used.
Okay.
So, and it is complete. It's got the hard suction. It's got the ladders.
Right.
I had rebuilt the ladders several years ago.
And the wooden hose bed, everything looks fantastic.
Yep.
And then on the far side of this one, you have another truck.
Yep. So now we're starting to get into kind of the uniqueness of our area. Okay. This very first truck is F550 four-wheel drive brush truck. We believe in standing in the back of the truck when it's 110 degrees, not chasing the fire.
Okay.
It's got a 500-gallon tank of water and a small Vanguard pump.
Okay.
At the most, about 60 gallons per minute.
That's a good way to do that. A lot of times we end up pulling just like a hose bed off to do a brush truck, and then we kind of chase as the truck drives along.
Right.
You know, but to have you stand up in there and just hose it off as you go along.
Yep.
Good way to do that.
And then coming into this next truck, so the first truck's smaller, more maneuverable, four-wheel drive, hills.
Okay.
Okay. Bigger truck, 1,000 gallons, 20-gallon foam cell, 100 GPM pump. Okay. Bigger wheelbase, bigger truck. Bigger prairies, open landscape.
Okay.
It also acts as a tanker.
Okay.
Okay, it does have a drop tank on the, or a dump valve on the backside.
Okay.
And on the very front has a turret.
Pretty cool to see. Now, are these designed in-house, or do you send those out to get those made?
No, both of these, well, actually, both.
Okay.
So we make the truck beds ourselves. We do that in-house, but then, you know, the pumps, the plumbing, the tanks, we get all that manufactured and installed.
Okay. Okay.
So.
And then we're working our way. This is a beautiful tanker.
So this is a really unique truck in the sense of the way it was purchased. The department bought it.
Okay.
Not the city, not the county, the organization bought it. It's a Kenworth T880 cabin chassis, 3,000 gallon tank. It has a 1,000 GPM pump on it. And for us, it takes the water out into those rural areas. I particularly like this cabin chassis just because of the durability and its ability to handle terrain.
Okay. Okay. Now, I noticed when I was driving in, you actually have a lake. Do you do much drafting?
You would think we do. We actually don't do a lot of drafting.
Okay.
We should do a lot more of it. We're lucky here in town. We have a really good hydrant system.
Okay.
And quite frankly, everyone would rather just pull a couple 100 feet of supply line than try and set up a big drafting routine off a lake.
Right. Next to this is looks like a rescue to me.
So it's actually a light and air truck.
Okay.
Okay. It also works as more of like a command vehicle. The back seats are actually set up as think of them as captain chairs. Okay, and you can actually, we've got like a setup for your computers. We've got hotspots in here. There's TVs that deploy off of it, but it's also a light and air truck.
Okay.
It's got a massive compressor on it, 40 kW generator, and it's just multi-purpose. You'll see a lot of utility in our apparatus.
Okay. Next to that we have.
Now this next truck is a classic kind of rescue pumper.
Okay.
This truck for a long time was our flagship. Absolute workhorse of the fleet, okay? Car accidents, structure fires, and everything in between.
Okay.
It's got a 500 GPM, or 500 gallon tank.
Okay.
And a 1250 water wrist pump.
Nice.
Okay.
So is this considered your first out, or do you kind of rotate vehicles?
Good question. So we actually, due to our response, we kind of rotate vehicles because we're responsible for county, municipal response, and everything in between.
Okay.
Okay. So if we have a county call where there's no hydrants, well, you're going to take the tanker.
Okay.
And the light and air truck.
Okay.
Okay. If we have a city call, well, then we're going to probably take the next truck we're going to look at for a structure fire. But if we can fight a structure fire off of this, but it's intended for rescues and car accidents.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you see a lot of that utility with us.
Right. And then next to this was not actually looks fairly new.
So this truck is relatively new.
Okay.
This is a 2018 Pierce Velocity cab.
Okay.
500 gallons of water, 1250 water wrist pump, and it's more of a classic engine.
Okay.
Okay. Does have some tools on it just in case they're on a call. Okay. And again, we reinforce the utility in our apparatus because it's kind of silly for us to take a truck, have another call, which is common for us, and then have to go back to the station to change trucks to then go back out.
Sure, sure. And then the final bay over here looks like you got F-250 utility.
Yep. Utility, command truck, squad.
Okay.
It's called Squad 1, but again, it's more of just a usher vehicle, command vehicle, transfer vehicle for training when we got to send people somewhere.
Okay.
And a lot of medicals are run out of this.
Okay. Okay. And then as we work our way back here, it looks like you have your gear racks.
Yeah, so this is kind of our overflow right now.
Okay.
Like I said, we've really grown the organization. So we built and added a whole bunch of extra gear racks over here. This used to be a giant workout area.
Okay.
Now it's a very small workout area.
Right.
We had to add the gear racks. We just had to get them in there. The overflow we just didn't have enough locker space on the walls, and we had to build lockers and put them in here temporarily.
Well, because you have so many now volunteers that
Yes.
are running on a regular basis, you had to figure out a way to do that. And unfortunately, giving up a bay or two in order to get the equipment. Because a lot of times I've come across some firehouses that was like, yeah, we have this many stuff, but we can't get the equipment to them. And I got to share gear. Maybe you and I are closer to the same size. You know, whoever got to the firehouse first got the gear, and that's who's getting unstuck. So the fact that you guys are expanding and saying, hey, we're going to try to get gear for everybody to get on the trucks to make sure we get them on the calls.
It is not uncommon for us that if we buy gear for someone, and God forbid they leave the organization, that we just kind of silhouette it on someone and be like, that fits you.
Yeah.
Real common here. And it's because we've had such a large influx of personnel that it can be difficult to equip everyone. At the end of the day, the finances of the gear is a huge factor.
Right, and for you that are watching the show that may not be firefighters, don't understand that the gear itself, to fully gear out a firefighter, is anywhere from $2,500 to, I would say, almost up to $6,500 for boots, pants, coat, helmet, all the other masks and stuff like that. It can be a financial burden on a lot of companies throughout the country.
Yeah, and it really is. It's a cost, but at least I'm going to say a disposable cost in the sense that it's not an investment because there's no return on when you buy it.
Right.
You are simply buying it for the protection of your guys. Once the gear's expired, it's not like you can dump it anywhere and make money on it.
Right.
So it's a huge factor for organizations.
You looks like you did invest though on a lot of exercise equipment
Yes.
at one point, and It's tight right now, but it can be pulled out, open up the bays and use some stuff.
Yeah, so for us, even though we're volunteer, we do have a lot of young men and women on the department. A lot of people do use this equipment. Yeah, it's tight. Yes, they have to pull it out. They manage. They use it. Why? Because it's provided.
Right.
And they want to.
Yeah. There's a lot of departments across the nation that don't even have the opportunity to have what
Right.
you have right here. So
No. Yeah,
the fact that you put it out here is great.
I'll say this to everyone watching. I apologize in advance. We're exceedingly lucky. We're very blessed. And we have a lot of opportunities that we took advantage of when they were offered. It's a big thing. We took advantage of opportunities when they were offered. And that's a huge factor of where Granbury got today.
Okay. Even social media, often ignored or feared by many departments, has become an asset here. They use it to educate, engage, and attract new members who might not have walked through the doors otherwise.
We're not afraid to grow. We're not afraid to learn. We're not afraid to change.
And that key phrase right there is huge with any strategic planning, any strategic business plan that you have to put together. You have to be able to change. As society changes, as your environment changes around you, you have to be able to adapt and change. And
Right.
many departments across the nation either refuse to or don't know how to.
Right.
So, if you have some off-site training, I noticed in the back you got a little bit of land. Are we able to go take a look at maybe your other stations and where you guys do a lot of that training?
Yeah, 100%. We'll go up to our training field and we'll go see Station 2 and 3.
Thank you all for watching. Once again, this was the Station Cribs with Granbury Fire Department out of Texas. Do us a favor, hit that subscribe, hit that notification, smash those like buttons, make a couple comments below. What do you guys think? We'll see you again next week. Until then, stay safe, take care of each other.